With the introduction of a few new Chrome OS tablets in the past year or so, it can be easy to get a bit confused on which one to pick up if you're in the market for a detachable Chromebook. But the brutal truth at this point is the only Chromebook tablets really worth considering come from Lenovo, and that means one of the toughest decisions for anyone watching this video right now comes down to the differences present in the older Lenovo Chromebook Duet and the newer Chromebook Duet 3. They look a lot alike and they come with many of the same features, but don't be fooled by the lower price of that older model. Instead, let me show you why in basically every way you should really consider an upgrade to the newer Duet 3, even if it costs just a bit more. First, a quick note about the two most recent Lenovo tablets on the market, the Duet 3 and the Duet 5. Both are great devices that meet different needs, and we've fleshed all of that out in a video prior to this one, and we'll link it in the description. They have different strengths and weaknesses, and though they are the only two Chromebook tablets I'd fully recommend here in the second half of 2022, there's a pesky fly in the ointment that has consumers being pulled towards a third option that, in my opinion, doesn't even need to be in consideration in most circumstances. Well, there is one caveat to that, but we're going to save that for the end. And outside of that single factor, there's simply no reason for anyone to even remotely consider spending money on the original Duet. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic device back in 2020 when it was launched, and it single-handedly did more for detachable Chromebooks than any device has to date. It brought together the parts you want in a tablet, like a great display, portable size, a solid build, and a keyboard right in the box, and it kept its price, the MSRP price, in a range that made it such an easy purchase decision right as we rolled headfirst into a pandemic. It handily got my kids through online at-home school for sure, and I bet it did the same for some of you too. But this is tech, and tech moves fast, and as we head into the latter parts of 2022, the playing field has changed a bit, and the newer and better in every way version of that beloved Duet has arrived. And it's really fantastic. We talked about it in our review, but the story is really simple here. If you love what the original Duet brought to the table, the new one does all of that and more. And better. I don't have to meticulously go through every spec and hardware feature to make this clear, but I'll mention a few things that make the Duet 3 a better tablet than its predecessor. First, the screen is a tad bit larger at 11 inches, giving you the same portable feel, but a better workspace. The processor is far faster with the Snapdragon 7C Gen 2, making actual work much easier to actually get done. The keyboard is better spaced and more comfortable. The trackpad is larger with a better click. The kickstand backplate is thinner. The port selection is better, the external monitor support is better, the battery life is better. You get it. In almost every single category, the new Duet 3 trumps the older version. I called it a perfect update in my review, and I still stand by that. Lenovo absolutely nailed every part of this device, addressing all of the concerns most people had with the original $300 Duet. Is it perfect? Of course not, but it is a pretty fantastic device if you're looking for a 10 or 11-inch tablet and want Chrome OS running on it. So why would anyone consider buying the older model? You know the answer before I say it, right? It comes down to money, and herein lies our caveat. As an older device, the original Duet can be discounted a bit more aggressively, and that makes for some interesting decisions at the time of purchase. I mean, right now, Best Buy has the original Duet at the full $299 MSRP and the new Duet 3 marked down $50 to $329. In no realm of reality should you consider the original Duet in this circumstance. However, there have been a few times just this summer where the original Duet has dipped to a full half off, and that really muddies the waters a bit. It doesn't happen all that often, but if the old Duet was $149 and the new Duet 3 was not on sale and sitting at $379, the conversation shifts a little bit. In that scenario, we need to ask, who's going to be using this tablet? What's its main use case going to be? And are you okay with a struggling processor and the typing being a little bit cramped and below average, and with a tablet keyboard combo that's a bit too bulky? I mean, if you're fine with all these trade-offs, hey, go and get your deal and enjoy your purchase. But most times, we find these two devices within $100 of one another. And if you plan on keeping your new tablet around for a few years, you really have to ask yourself, is saving 60, 70, 80 bucks really worth the trade-offs you're agreeing to in that moment? It would be different if we were just talking about a few upgrades here and there, but I'm telling you, this new tablet is better in every single way versus the one that came before it, and that's not an exaggeration in the least. Even when we discuss the two devices at full MSRP, the difference is 80 bucks, and there's no situation where I tell you to save 80 bucks and pick up the older version. The upgrades are simply too numerous to overlook, and you would regret your decision a few months down the road. My recommendation? Find a way to buy the newer Duet 3 if it is at all possible, and if the older model isn't on some sort of crazy fire sale. You won't regret it, I promise. And the difference between the two isn't iteration, it's near complete overhaul, and all for the better. We made this video to point that fact out and to make it very clear that although these tablets bear a passing resemblance, they really couldn't be more different in actual use. If you plan on using either of them for an extended period of time and want to actually get productive at all with it, I can't urge you enough to go for the Duet 3. You'll thank me later. But guys, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to ring the notification icon if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see ya.